Zee Telefilms, India's first private Hindi channel. It was born when no one was willing to take on the might of Doordarshan's terrestrial reach. Zee rode its first mover advantage to double its revenues in 1996 and became satellite TV's preferred channel. But the man who made it all happen, Subhash Chandra, perceived that all was not right. In time, he would decide to enter the Valley of Death twice.
Subhash, you've been through the Valley of Death twice now, 1996, 2002. What are the similarities? What are the differences?
The first 96, as I have written and I have quoted in your book, that the issues were different at that stage. There was startup team, they became complacent, that as if they have done wonders from a zero base to 150, 200 crores. We had to change that startup team. The same team didn't let a CEO at that time, Mr. Sanyal, to function properly because he could show them their true face in every discussion. And it was difficult with this argument to counter by these senior executives. And it was a scenario where they are being told by everybody in the society that how great job they have done, but their CEO tells them that what's the reality. And that was the first journey through the Valley of Death, as you call.
In 2002 now, the second journey into the valley, the second time that you've had to do this transformation, you said the circumstances are very different.
Yes, because if you recollect that 1999, we made a major mistake of just without thinking very much granting the ESOPs to people. And everybody became, people have earned 100 crores, 150 crores, and there was nobody who got ESOPs were less than earning a 2 crores of capital gain straight away out of nothing. And these people were middle level executives. They didn't know what to do, how to digest that kind of money. So that process of, as you call, the second journey through the Valley of Death started at that time.
You think it took away the hunger from people? The fact
Yes.
that they got so much wealth overnight? Is that, therefore it's complacency again in a different form?
In a different form. That set in complacency in a different form.
Now,
And at that is the stage we had to again start reinventing. And that process is, I think, where we went wrong was that due to the ESOP schemes, when the people got so much money, and whatever the processes and things which were building up in the organization, they got kind of dismantled. That whole process was set up that there are at least 5 people who will see a program before putting it on air. Now in the change 2002, because the complacency had set in and the new team were reacting to the major discontinuity like KBC.
Zee's leadership ambitions suffered a setback with a star salvo. Kaun Banega Crorepati, anchored by Bollywood icon Amitabh Bachchan. The game show became a phenomenon with a television rating of 20 points in December 2000. Zee's reaction, Sawal 10 Crore Ka, ended up being a poor copy of KBC with a TRP of 4. But this was just the beginning of Zee's troubles. It was slowly but surely making its way to the Valley of Death.
was ABC the one thing that when you reacted, that reaction was turned out to be such a failed reaction that from then on it was a downward slide?
That's correct. You are absolutely right. And
but you are saying that it was complacence which led to your reaction to KBC being not what it should have been.
yeah, because the processes which we had developed over a period of time, those got totally dismantled because of that reaction, knee-jerk reaction. And that kind of continued, and the new CEO came in, and my experience of the past had been that let me give a total free hand to the CEO, whosoever it may be.
You said that in the first time round, with the very first CEO you had, you felt that you'd cramped his style. Certainly with Vijay Jindal, you gave him much more freedom. Did you give even more freedom to Sandeep
Even
Goyal?
more than that. I think even more than that. And as a popular perception which my colleagues in the media create, that there have been, oh my God, 7 CEOs and things like that. I mean, there has been only 3 CEOs in 10 years. And that too in an evolving media industry which
How do you say
I wanted
three?
to professionalize.
How do you say 3? There was Mr. Sanyal, there was Vijay Jindal, there was R.K. Singh, Digvijay Singh before that.
No, Digvijay
Sandeep
Singh was
Goyal.
never a CEO.
But he was running the network. I mean, whatever
No,
be the designation,
no,
wasn't
never,
he the man
never,
in charge?
never. He was only in charge of marketing.
And you were
And
the
that's
CEO.
available in the book, it's very clearly.
Okay. Sandeep Goyal, you're saying therefore is the third. What about R.K. Singh? He was
Sandeep Goyal is the 4th
he's
CEO.
the 4th CEO.
And he still remains with the network as an advisor. So, I mean, he tried his best. I don't blame him on anything.
It was during Vijay Jindal's reign that Zee traced its first journey into the valley of death. His arrival was welcomed with enthusiasm. New strategies, new programming, and a new mission statement became the flavor of the month. Backstage, trouble was afoot, marked by disenchantment and recrimination. Within 6 months, 25 senior managers had sent in their resignations.
If we go back to the theory, first the realization of the truth, then comes the benchmarking, then comes the finger pointing, then comes euphoria, and then comes the solution. So you've taken us through the first valley, but take us again a little bit more clearly through the differences between the second and the first.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you, Geeta, these jargons that what comes first and what comes second. I'm a simple entrepreneur, and I know that if you put logics into it, there is no rocket science to the success. First time around, this was a different kind of complacency. Second time around, it was totally different kind of a thing. The ESOPs, people not feeling to work, they feeling not to work, and then the management changes. Then the major discontinuity, once in a lifetime, which kind of a thing happens, like KBC. The management team reacted to that. And also, I think I'm the first entrepreneur, and perhaps so far the only entrepreneur who has been very, very open and accepting his faults. I mean, what we did, the media assets which we bought from a guy called Ketan Parekh, I think that was a greed which had set in, even in myself. And that took away my attention, and the management kept being in the reactionary mode. And I think I clearly, openly admitted that fact, and we took that hit of close to 300 crore on our personal balance sheet.
Is that where things started going wrong? That you started looking at what competitors are doing rather than playing the leadership game,
That's correct.
inventing the
It was
rules?
my desire to professionalize this company completely. And the professionals started looking at it, what they are doing, what so-and-so is doing. So thereby I should do this and I should do that.
So are you saying that India is
As
for
a
entrepreneurs?
leader in any business, leader's job is to maintain the leadership position by doing innovative thinking and leading the way of that industry.
And that only the CEO or the entrepreneur can do? Professional managers
If
can't do?
directed properly, professional managers will do.
So
If
that's
guided properly.
I think the last 6 months have been absolutely a fabulous working experience from the point of view that you're handling such a big media brand and managing everything about the media brand. The big high for me while handling Zee was obviously handling it like a business. So, you're taking care of programming, you're taking care of marketing, you're taking care of sales. So, completely looking at everything and giving a holistic perspective to the job.
The team today at Zee Network is a young team. People are there for some business heads are there for a year and some are 6 months old. They don't carry any baggage. I didn't have to do any of those things with them. as I have earlier quoted in some of the press interviews, that when a company is at a turnaround phase, it requires to a turnaround. The companies, right from the lowest level employee of the company to the highest level of the company, they must work in the same direction. What happened with Sandeep Goyal was that he himself, in his own right, he was a star CEO. He has seen successes everywhere. And whereas in a media company, there are many stars everywhere. They are in the news, they are in the programming, creative people. They are also stars in their own right. So if an entrepreneur, promoter person is leading, all the stars will look at him and accept it. But when a professional CEO, who is a star value CEO, they don't want to give wholehearted things to them because they don't agree with his ideas. But yet, because he is a CEO, they can't confront him, they can't say no. And that leads to despair and then internal fingerprinting, as you have put in your management jargon.
It's a very large organization. You must accept the fact that Zee is a very, very big organization. The fact also is that it has grown in the last 10 years by leaps and bounds. So there is bound to be a certain level of restructuring. I think the entire media industry is going through a state of flux all the time. People have left, people have joined all the time, but that's been so across the media industry. So I don't think it's something that is peculiar of Zee TV alone. A couple of high-profile changes have made it seem that there are a lot of changes going on. But if you really go through the depth of the organization, there have been people who've been around for many years.
Unless you get really talented people to be your CEOs, you will always be stepping in as the acting CEO. You are a man of vision. You want to go ahead. The satellite, the education, the whole IT, Infocom, convergence space. There are just so many things that you are interested in, would like to take forward. If you cannot give up to your CEO, how is all that vision going to get translated? Are you the best CEO for the company?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying instead of having one CEO, I have now 5 CEOs. I mean, we have divided the Zee network into 5 clusters. Zee TV is one, Zee Cinema, Zee Music is one, Alphas is another one, English language product is a separate one.
But they should not be stars.
Mr. Chandra, if I step in here and just take off from Geeta's question, the sense I'm getting after hearing you speak about management issues on a day-to-day basis, the sense, and this is Geeta also asked that question, that while you're saying you've got 5 CEOs, what you're saying is that someone like you, who is the entrepreneur and the person who launched it and managed the enterprise for the first few years directly, will always be needed.
I would not say that fully, but I would say that I would need to keep my eyes on the ball, I mean on the business. I don't have to, even today with these 5 youngsters, I just have to be available to them for guidance. It's not that I'm doing day-to-day management or I'm saying, okay, do this, do that.
We've also seen the fact that, if I could use the word resurgence of the family, a lot of your close relatives, your sons, your brothers, are now in key management positions. Are we then to believe that you think that is the way forward, that family members really are important to the growth of the company and professional managers have a somewhat limited role? Take us through your argument between family management and professional management.
My belief is very simple, that why do we all think that a family member cannot be a professional? And already earlier also that family member, one of them has been involved on the Zee side of it. And I'm not talking today, I believe this is a Zee telefilm story, so I don't want to go into beyond that. Only Zee News third person has been added, Lakshmi Goyal. The rest is all other family members are doing their own businesses in the group. Though some print media has shown as if everything has changed now. They have come all out of blue somewhere. But my view is that certainly, and that is more so now whatever has happened last 1 year in the international arena also, that the thing is coming back that if the, मैं तो हिंदी में बोलूँगा कि ज्योतन लागे सोतन जाने. So if you are a majority shareholder of a business, and if you can't run it properly and better in the interest of the shareholders, I think a hired professional CEO may not be able to do better job than a majority shareholder, promoter, founder, whatever you call it.
So this is clearly your management. This is clearly his management philosophy that Jotan lage sotan jane. If the one who owns the most also is hurt the most, and therefore acts
On the
most.
other hand, we have companies like in the company SL Propack, where a managing director is a professional CEO. We don't interfere more than just going through the management reports once a month, or going through the board agenda and guiding the person whatever they need.
Subhash, you mentioned you have these young new CEOs. You spoke about how you went through the valley of death. There was a lot of finger pointing. There were some people you wanted to keep, some people went away. When so much turmoil happens, and then people start seeing a ray of light, that okay, here are some successful programs, here these are excellent parts of the organization, not everything is bad, there is a sense of optimism. That optimism very quickly leads to a sense of urgency, energy, lots of new ideas happening. Particularly when new people come in, they're very excited, they want to prove themselves. What do you do then as the leader?
I think that's the real challenge ahead of all of us. That at that stage you need to channelize that energy in a way that their over-enthusiasm also sometimes leads to some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to put the processes and systems in a place so that everybody is aware that what he or she is performing, how is that figuring in a qualitative terms, not only in the number terms.
ये है Zee TV. After its first journey into the valley of death, Zee saw a turnaround in its fortunes. In January 2000, the market capitalization of Zee Telefilms was pegged at 390,000 crore rupees, making it one of India's most valuable companies. That was a few years ago.
नए अंदाज में Zee TV नहीं देखा तो क्या देखा?
Now, with its second restructuring, will Zee regain its erstwhile glory?
Okay, now let's look at what from here. You've launched a second restructuring. By your own words, you're saying you're beginning to see success. Let's project this forward. Let's assume that Zee TV, Zee Network have reached where you wanted them to reach again. What does that mean for you? Will you step back? Will you hand over the reins to a new CEO? If yes, what kind of a person will he be? Will he not? What kind of mistakes are you sure you will not repeat?
Well, first of all, I think we have not reached where we want to reach. We are on our way.
Today already we are at a very comfortable number 2 position, and certainly with the new initiatives that we put in place, whether it is the movies or whether it is the shift to Sunday programming or even the different kind of serials that we are talking about. Not only serials in terms of programming, but serials in terms of different tenures. We are talking about a 2.5-hour film that we want to that we've developed. We are talking about an episodic programming which starts and ends in 64 episodes. So all these things where we are attempting to bring about a dissonance in viewership certainly is going to pay off.
Being an entrepreneur, I would not say that even at any cost I must, on Zee TV, I must be number 1. If I'm strong number 2, I'm okay. I don't want to just be emotional about things. Now, consciously we have taken a very clear decision which will manifest in the years to come, that rather than hiring a person from outside at a senior level, we will more concentrate on building our own cadre, and the people from within should be developed and promoted to CEOs or whatever level.
So you're saying...
So that you have seen each other, they have seen the culture of the organization, they fit into the culture, they are comfortable, shareholders are comfortable, and that's the way we will look at it.
Mr. Chandra, thank you very much for joining us this evening and taking us through your, whether you call it 1.5 journeys through the valley of death or 2 journeys through the valley of death, but you've really been very candid. Thank you very much for being with us on Lessons in Excellence. We'll be back again with another one. You stay right there.